Yo, what's good, everybody? Chris Hansen, Stay True Media. Got a very special guest with me here today. A nice friend of mine came down from Brooklyn, Sheikhy Chic.
Sheikhy Chic in the building. Your world is yours. YWY stands for Your World is Yours. You know what's up. Chris, I'm glad to be here. What's the name of the podcast? Stay True. And we're about to teach y'all a whole lot of ways to actually stay true to yourself and to the game. So let's get it cracking, bro. I'm glad to be here for sure.
Bro.
Legendary conversation. Take notes. Take notes.
And who better to have on Stay True than Sheikhy Chic? Give you guys a little bit of background. Sheikhy Chic and I connected through IG month and a half ago, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Blessed by the algorithm. I think I was scrolling through, or I was following Cody Alford, watching some of his stuff, ended up with Sheikhy Chic.
Shouts out to Cody.
Cody, haven't met you, but mad respect, brother. Love what you're doing. Came across Sheikhy Chic. Immediately, I was like, all right, this dude is someone I need to talk to, someone I need to plug in with, someone inspiring me. And that's what we're all looking for. I'm looking for inspiration. I want to bring inspiration to other people. So I was lucky enough, Sheikhy Chic booked a flight down here in Miami at the VAYCAY Lounge.
Very rare.
This is our second cast of the day. We did the VAYCAY podcast earlier. Make sure y'all check that out. VAYCAYpodcast.com, streaming on all major platforms. Some jewels dropped on that earlier today as well.
Take notes.
Take notes for real people. This one's going to be fucking legendary.
Don't miss the gems.
I'm pumped. Get your notepad, download the episode, send it to your friends, whatever. There's going to be some real game in this shit.
Let's get it.
So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So first of all, bro, thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me. We out here. Yo, bro, fist bump real quick.
For real.
I'm saying? We out here legendary. We in Miami.
Yeah.
It's 2023, they said. I don't know exactly what point in time of the universal history we're in, but we got to be grateful that we're in it, right? You know what I'm saying? And pay attention and bear witness to the fact that we are living in the present. You know what I'm saying? So let's make history, deliver this good to the people, deliver this wisdom, and y'all are going to walk away with major insight. Take notes. Don't miss the gems. Happy to be here. Legendary. Let's make history.
All for free today. Complimentary people that say he's charging big money for this game. This is some real shit. So
Tap in.
I'm real excited. We're going to run it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, I started following you. You're on some next level fucking game, bro. Like,
Appreciate that.
I don't want to say I'm not impressed easily, but I don't give out respect easily.
Respect shouldn't come easy.
But real quick, I was drawn to your message, your vibe. Like you say, that swag.
Swag.
Like you can't have it all. You can't.
Of course.
So, like I said, drawn into you. We started the DMs, whatever, get it lined up. We're here now, which is, like you said, beautiful. We talked about this last night.
Yeah.
It's just, we're in a day and age, and everyone rips on the internet and social media, and there's a lot of negative, but then like you have shit like this, which is never another point in time could we have made these type of connections. We have access to so much intellect, information, knowledge, stuff that we've never ever discussed as a community before, as a whole, as humans. And that's what we want to talk about today. Like, there's enough division out there in the world right now, all the time, not even just right now. Let's bring people together, inspire, elevate, like you say, superior conduct, bro.
Superior conduct is everything. This is the thing, right? We're all looking for inspiration. We're all looking for the answers, right? And, it came up, we were talking earlier, satisfaction, and we live in this world where, what are you looking for? Do you even know? And when we ask ourselves these questions, we get into that state of introspection. And I think, most people are very attuned to my spiritual insights and the way that I know how to talk on certain topics, but in a contemporary, modern way, right? And that's what we're here to talk about. Giving y'all is wisdom, giving y'all ways to understand yourselves, to help you actually stay true. Because YWY, Your World is Yours, it started as, I heard this voice in my mind one day as like a youngin', and it's understanding that your mind is yours. And the only way to truly manifest the existence that you want is by staying true to your intuition, your inner vision, whatever you want to call it, your higher reasoning, and manifesting that. So that's what we're going to teach you how to do. You know, the Stay True podcast, this is just another legendary segment. Take notes, you know, Chris. So, and I want to ask you, the medicine field that you've been in, what was that about? What got you into the medicinal field or the pharmacological field?
Honestly,
Pay attention.
I mean, what really got me in?
Yeah.
2 reasons. Money.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was going into sales. I knew that was what I was good at. Medical, I knew it was lucrative. 2, I was I was interested in. I was pre-med originally, so I liked being in that environment.
Yeah.
But then obviously my background, my addiction, my experience with the pharmaceutical industry, I thought, all right, this is a way also I can make good money and be trying to help people, you know, with the testing and whatnot. And I feel like, you know, I've done some of that, but I'd be lying if I felt like completely fulfilled or like I was making a huge difference.
Right.
So, but that's what got me into it, man. I had a mentor in college. The guy owned a medical business, and he really put me on game and got me into it. He saw something in me I didn't see myself.
Right.
And also, I had a very vast knowledge of pharmaceuticals, self-educated.
Well, you know, so we're talking about healing people. You want to help people and heal people. What is healing? How could you define healing for your truth? Like, what's your truth around the idea of healing?
That's evolved, obviously, because back then I thought I was like healing, right?
Right.
Still thinking, I mean, let's be real, bro. There's no healing in pharmaceuticals for real, for the most part. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's situations, but we have a lot of people completely relying on a quick fix. And that might not even just apply to pharmaceuticals. That could apply to porn, alcohol, drugs. But now healing, I mean, for me, the biggest realization, bro, is it shit starts on the inside. Like, you have to heal internally, and that manifests on the external to some degree.
For sure.
Like, we have to empower people to heal their mind.
For sure.
And their soul, I think.
That's what it is. You know?
Tell me. Wait, I want to backtrack.
What's up?
I want to get a little background. I want to give the people, like, who you are.
Oh, yeah.
You know how people are, bro. They want to make sure you're qualified.
Before you get the sauce, right?
Yeah.
So my name is Sheikhy Chic. Some people know me as Iman. Sheikhy Chic is where the swag is at. Born and raised Brooklyn, New York, of Sudanese descent. That's the Nile River Valley, the country south of Egypt. You know, my dad took me back and forth to Africa, you know, since a child, since the age of 3 to the age of 25, 26. So I've been exposed to both hemispheres of the globe, multiple societies, speak a few languages. I've been exposed to the human condition. Now, we're talking about helping people and serving people. I feel it's my purpose to be a gateway into higher consciousness for everyone who needs the clarity. So seeking clarity is one thing, which helps us establish a more frictionless willing of ourselves, a frictionless use of our will as an instrument of action in life, right? Because most people don't have the clarity, so their will as an instrument, their willpower is incapacitated, you know, debilitated. Your World Is Yours started in 2013. I used music as a medium to convey the message. I was a knucklehead. I used to think I was healing people by giving them weed. I used to smoke weed. I was a punk, you know, different things. I've introduced people to what people would call alternative medicinal styles. But for me, it was always about inducing a state of consciousness so that I can think and see life at a different angle and contrive those answers we were talking about. What I realized is that by using substances, you lead people across a bridge, and some people never make it back across that bridge, right? So then they become dependent on the substances. You see people never really readjust to being who they were meant to be. Luckily, I had the courage to come back across the bridge and, you know, heal people and get them to a higher state of consciousness, not by using these external tools, but by internally cultivating the self and constructing the self so that it's sustainable forever, you know? My whole mission is just to guide you to stay true to you and get you to be who you're supposed to be. what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
You said even back then, right? You thought you were healing, helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you've always felt like pulled to do, like to be of service to others? Like, was that always
Yeah.
kind of like, even if not in healthy ways, right? I
Right.
think, we all do that at times. Like, I've done the same shit, right?
Right.
Like, you hand in shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But were you always kind of a selfless, wanting to help, teach, educate, enlighten, uplift, whatever?
Always asking questions. I've always had like a natural leadership vibe. Like it was nothing for me to just take the front. We'd be in class, you're in college or wherever. The teacher asks a difficult question. Everybody has their hand down. I'd rather get the question wrong and everybody move forward, and be that person than to sit back and not lead, So I've always had the desire to lead. I've always been a curious individual. I used to watch a lot of movies that dealt with psychic abilities. I was always intrigued, Matilda, like, young childhood stuff, I was always interested in the mind. And I think that's been a cultivated superpower of mine. And every time I find these answers, I get this joy. We all find things that work for us, get inspired, want to share it with other people. And oftentimes people get met with resistance or a lack of response. And they lose their enthusiasm, but I just always kept my enthusiasm. We're just going to do this, and that's how we're going to do it,
I mean, bro, I think more people need to do that. I've been a victim of that myself, and like you said, I get these thoughts, ideas, whatever, and you get stoked. And I look at it now like those were little blessings from the universe, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Downloads or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you go tell your boys, your family, and I feel like most of the time I heard just negative. Like I'm hearing their negative. There's their own lack of belief in themselves or their ventures or whatever. But unfortunately, I feel like you don't have a whole lot of people usually encouraging you.
Right.
Where we need that.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not very many people like you that from that young of age are just like, I don't give a fuck.
No, we're just going to ride out.
Yeah.
And it's natural when we all, like the viewers out there, y'all are watching, y'all get inspired. We get inspired to teach these people, our family. But often we're not the embodiments of the principles that we're speaking, right?
Facts.
So I learned from a teacher of mine, personified the teachings, also that hypothetical is hypocritical, right? So at the beginning of my full becoming, which was about 3 years ago, 2020, where I decided to peel back and just either I'm going to be the real or I'm not going to be at all. I realized I didn't want to be a hypocrite. Even in the Quran, there's a chapter called Al-Munafiqun. Munafiq means hypocrite. I was highly aware of this. Just to get the hypocrisy out, become an embodiment of it, instead of trying to tell people what to be, show them as you're being it. And that's going to be a more effective instrument. But it's easier to talk than it is to be, right? So that's where the discrepancy comes in. Most people, when it's time to be it, and also there's no time limit. Like once you make a dedication and a devotion to the path, there's no turning back and there's no timeline. I say to myself, what if I just don't miss for eternity? Yeah. Like I'm not interested, like I'm in this for eternity.
Bro,
not one
heavy.
life, not
don't
one
miss for eternity.
Yeah, just like I'm not even interested in for eternity, bro. This is what we're doing. Like there's nothing else. Then you're in it, and that just comes with a certain level of maturity. But so just to be an effective deliverance of the message, I always had the YWY in me. I always had the higher knowledge, the wisdom, the third eye thing going on, but it wasn't effective. And I led more people to more destructive behaviors and breaking them down and not building them up, not teaching them how to be strong on their own. And I realized it was time to just be the example, inspire with action, lead by example, and that's where we're at, So as a servant, as a healer, you can't just give out the medicine, right?
Yeah.
So, you have that in you. That's a natural inclination. But what is medicine for, right? Like the purpose of medicine is to heal. I find that with pharmaceuticals, you tell me how you feel. People are getting the substance or the medicine, but they become dependent and they don't ever get cured. I realized at one point, if it's true medicine, at one point there should be no longer a need for it, right? Whether, you know, we talk about alternative things as we are about to, you know, or, you know, anything. You shouldn't need the medicine. And if it's there in perpetuity, it's not medicine, it's a crutch, you know? So maybe that's what your shift with the pharmaceutical industry, with the synthetic things and the man-made things, and the way the industry is more like a financial situation, not really like looking to get people off of it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, how do you feel? What do you think about like the healing process, curing, what medicine means, you know, as a means to healing?
Yeah, I mean, and I wish I could remember right now, because I just read this the other day, like the root word pharmakia, right? Like, what, do you know what it is? Like,
No, etymology.
it's not good. I know that. I'm curious, look that up, but I mean, bro, I just feel like
Drug, pharmakion, pharmacology, yeah, just drug. It says drug. Pharmakias.
I saw, I don't know, there was something a deeper, it was like something negative. But essentially, I mean, yeah, man, I think we all, especially, you know.
Preparers of drugs, a poisoner, a sorcerer.
Yeah, that's it. Sorcerer, poisoner.
Spell, enchantment, things like that.
Yeah, that was the stuff. So, and that was just another piece of it. But I think, because a lot of it is what we grew up knowing, right? Like, it's normal. You go to the doctor, you're sick, here's your antibiotic, your medicine, whatever. You're getting your wisdom teeth pulled, dentist, here's Percocet.
For sure.
And thinking that was medicine, and also having just utmost respect for any doctor that I ever met. And then I got in the industry, and I quickly realized they're people like anybody else. There's good, there's bad, everything in between. But part of my knowledge expanding was to my family in Europe. You know, my uncle's a pain doctor in Sweden. And when I would talk to him about stuff like Oxy or Percocet, right, these narcotic opioids.
Opioid derivatives, yeah.
He's like, we don't do that here. Like, we send you to acupuncture, we send you to physical therapy and a massage therapist. We don't prescribe anything that high dose over here, like maybe in surgery. So I realized, all right, this isn't the norm, right? A lot of times in America, we just have tunnel vision and we think this is how everything's done. You know, so kind of being exposed to that. And then, dude, sitting in these waiting rooms when I was going to see my doctor clients, sitting, waiting to be let in, and I'm around all these patients waiting for the refills. And it's just, I'm around sick people. Like, you see it, you can feel it, like, and it's like, bro, is anyone here actually helping themselves, or are we just keeping people like subdued or just like
getting them through the moment?
Just kind of letting them be present. Like, are they really living? So yeah, man, I do think some of it was a evolution myself, but I do think there is an overall shift happening ever since the pandemic of a lot of mistrust in the medical system, the insurance system. And I think this isn't even limited to medicine. I think people are kind of looking as a whole at these massive corporations, these massive power centers, whether it's finance, medicine, real estate. I think people are realizing, all right, there's a lot of controls in play that may not be at our best interest. And we've had this blind faith, you know, going with it. And maybe it's not even intentional. Maybe it's kind of like, oh, this is the new thing and this is easy and great. This is progress. And maybe now we're all like, all right, maybe this wasn't.
People are addicted to immediacy, right? They're addicted to immediacy. And what the mass engine, let's call it, is purporting and putting out there is that here's this quick fix. You know, like, and you mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, superior conduct, right? So as healers, as individuals who are reflecting on the cause of symptoms and stress that we want to now remove in our lives, you have to look at the causes. Like, it seems that in America, in general society all over the world, people are more operating on, we live in a universe of cause and effect. They're operating on the plane of effect and effect instead of addressing the cause. So in statistics, they have the X variable, the Y variable, independent. You change the X variable, you change the Y variable. If you have a headache and you treat it with a Tylenol, you're treating an effect with an effect. If you simply remove the cause, you automatically remove the effect. So then we look at the lifestyles that we're living and leading, our choices, and people are looking, it came to my mind, the universal desire is well-being, right? So people are all seeking a way to systematize or understand and achieve well-being. We've just been given means that don't actually produce well-being. They produce a simulation of well-being, right?
It's hijacked.
Exactly. So now you're just like override, and it's like, all right, why are people so unwilling to change the conduct that is producing the effect, and so willing to take the negative consequences of the immediate option, right? Like, so once you get on like these pharmaceuticals or any substance, you know, it's supposed to be medicine. You're not supposed to stay on it for too long. Stay on it for too long, you get negative effects in your life, you know? So I think that's the root cause, like, because we're born perfect. I mentioned that in one of my books that I wrote, most recent books. We're born perfect, standard issue. The things that cause defects within us are causes of our own conduct and choices, right? So as an already, health is normal. You were mentioning at dinner, alternative medicine. This is the natural stuff, right? Like, what does that mean to you? Like the idea of like normal, abnormal. People have normalized the abnormal, and people have normalized.
We've inverted everything.
Yeah, they just flipped it, right? So we have to get back to that state where health is actually the normal thing. Sickness is actually the abnormality. The prevalence of sickness is making people think that health is the abnormality, right? So how do we shift that perspective, you know?
It's nuts because I know this, but as you're saying it, I'm thinking of every hospital billboard I drive by. Like, we shouldn't need that.
No, you
like
don't
the
need
default should be health.
It is health.
And I feel like we're all on defense.
Right.
Like cancer, diabetes, obesity, but it's like, and obviously there's a lot of factors outside of our control, like our food, water, to some degree, right? Like, you do have to intentionally work on it. I mean, like with anything, but yeah, bro. And the first thing when we're talking about hijacking, you know, first thing I think of is porn, right? Like, and we right now there's such a division with men and women in society, right? Like, well, if women are doing this, men are doing this. How much of it is your brain's been hijacked? So the whole ritual mating, everything has been fucked from it. Like, the whole way we operate as a species, because we're introducing these shortcuts to the end result, instead of the actual work and the experience and like the lesson learning that can come from any of it.
So people are like bypassing the effort required, seeking that immediacy. So, you know, a lot of conversations around these topics can spin off into so many different directions and end up in conjecture, right? Just unending, inconclusive. So what my main focus is becoming practical with everyone, delivering practical, outcome-based, result-based thinking and procedure, so that, we're now observant of all of these things that are wrong with the situation. How do we provide the solution, right? So you mentioned the word evolution. We have to start to actually make the evolutionary change, right? People have to start to become a different way. And that's the thing, you know, so there's so many different means and tools. You think about it, how do we get to the result that we want? And most importantly, what exactly is the result that we want? Well-being, right? So what would be your suggestion on establishment forward for well-being?
For any person? I mean, dude, the number one I would say is fucking get sober.
Sober fit,
like, I mean, sober, at least for me, nothing else was possible.
For sure.
Like, and I'm sure it's different for everybody. You know, everyone's got their thing. But for me, like, if I'd have, my mind wasn't right. So therefore, even my brain wasn't able like I wouldn't be able to absorb your shit because I just wasn't even on that wavelength, you know?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, but the root of all of it, I think, is fucking discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because discipline, routine, that is the comfort.
Structure.
Yeah.
Structure. So we have conventional medicine and we have alternative medicine.
Yeah.
Alternative medicine, right? What is your definition of alternative medicine, and why does VAYCAY exist as opposed to the answer that was pharmaceuticals?
I mean, I would say now the alternative medicine is pharmaceuticals, whereas
Right.
anything plant-based, natural.
Right.
And I understand a lot of pharmaceuticals are derived from plants or compounds in plants.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well then let's use the plant.
Right.
Like, let's stick to like what God created for us.
Why though? Why use that when we have science to make these pharmaceuticals to give us the same effect? What's the value?
History. Like, we had survived up to now, right? And really pharmaceuticals came in 1930s, 40s.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we had evolved up until that point without these new form of drugs. And I don't think a lot of these drugs, the payoff isn't worth it. Like, if we're not getting healthier as a society, something's not working.
Right.
So it's like, if we have such great modern medicine, and part of that's not even necessarily the pharmaceuticals. Part of the problem is the business side of it, right? The insurance companies, the politics and stuff like that. That also is another issue, which if you get back to the plant-based and have access, you don't need any of that.
For sure. So what as opposed to the multiple syllable words, polysyllabic word, oxytocin, oxycodone, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What solutions do you prefer? Because I know that personally, like somebody like without their Adderall or without their Zans or without their like lithium, whatever it is, dude, you know, like, and these are helping people skip the cause, which is, and this is what psychedelics helped me realize, you can cultivate these things from within. So once you smoke, you realize that state of consciousness exists. But the thing is, it's like, I can use this substance to like skip all the work to maintain it and attain it.
Yeah.
Or now that I know this exists, I know that my body is able and capable of producing this effect. So then even when it comes to opioid derivatives and things like that, there's the exogenous system and the endogenous system. We produce endogenous opioids, cannabinoids, all types of things, right? But the work that's involved with producing that, many people seek to bypass. But the work is actually where the strengthening and the beauty of everything comes in, right? So that's where fitness comes in, right? Everybody knows they can get a serotonin boost, dopamine boost, if you're really a dopamine person, but you have to lift that weight. You have to run those miles. You have to put that effort in, right? Or you can do the cheap thing, don't do the activity, get the feeling. Well, what happens? You skip the evolutionary act that was associated with the reward to begin with, right? So then it's all about reconstructing your priorities. And once you realize that this state is attainable, earning your positivity, right? So that's where the discipline comes in. That's where understanding the value of having a system comes in, and realizing you don't need an exogenous stimulant to produce the effect, which is gonna have a negative effect and also now be your crutch. You can cultivate that from within. And that's the mission, right? You wanna be able to give people the awareness of a state and then allow them to then cultivate and work themselves to that without the external assistance, right? So, you know, it's like teachers, like these medicines, these induced states, they're like teachers, you know, but eventually you want to be able to, let's say, ride your bike on your own, take the training wheels off, right? Because eventually you know, with the pharmaceutical industry, metaphor to life, you take away whatever medicine, substance, prescription, take away the training wheels, they never learn how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Now they're out there on their own, they need the training wheels, dude. No, you know? So I think that's just a very important set of points to put out there for everybody.
No, you put that in a way that, at least for me, I never thought I would like that, but that's exactly what I felt essentially happened. Was it's like the curtain lifted, I had a peek, and I'm like, all right.
Right.
It's all about applying it afterwards.
Exactly.
Like, it's like what you said, like I can ride training wheels all day and keep doing that, but like if I don't ever apply the knowledge, it doesn't mean shit.
Right.
And that's what I, unfortunately, you know, as these things are getting more popular, I'm noticing that a lot more people, it's like they're treating it like a monthly spa trip or some shit. And like, and even I know, you know, a group of us were talking earlier at lunch, like, you know, do you want to go do any more, you know, another ceremony? And it's like, I mean, dude, I got more shit I can change right now that I know will change my perception, my daily life, whatever, whether it's diet, sleep schedule, whatever. Like there's little tweaks I can make without doing psychedelics at this point.
For sure.
But I do think for me, the power was what you said. I saw a different or felt a different thing or, you know, whatever, that I held on to that. And now I've learned how to cultivate that same feeling, whether it's love, peace, power.
Right.
I like tap back into that memory and then I'm like, all right.
Exactly.
But it comes with doing the fucking work. Like
exactly.
The daily shit, you know? Like nothing comes easy, dude. Everything you said, you can apply to anything. Fitness, business.
Growth, prosperity.
Right.
You know?
Like nothing, dude, I don't give a fuck. Easy come, easy go. Like we got to get it back in our heads. The real gift is the struggle, the evolution, the pain. Like
that's where the growth is.
That's why you see fucking lottery people go broke. They'll win $100 million and be broke in 2 years because
they never cultivated. Right.
Yeah, bro.
Who they were.
Like, are you really? Is that person actually lucky?
Right.
I think they're fucking worse off.
Yeah. Now they have a person who already mismanages small amounts of energy. It's like, you know, in one of the scriptures or something like that, they say you won't get your lot increased until you can manage what you have.
Facts.
Right. So then it's like you already messing up, fumbling what you have, right? And you don't even have much and you can't manage that. Now let's increase that times 1,000,000.
Yeah.
And watch you do so much more damage to yourself, right? So it's just learning how to cultivate the person who can sustain these things. And that's what I was mentioning with the evolutionary act. Evolutionary biology, eating, you mentioned pornography, sex, running, exercise, they naturally produce a reward within, so that it motivates us towards these evolutionary behaviors. People are bypassing the behavior and going to the reward because now we have this heightened modernity state, pharmacology, everything. You could just skip it. You don't have to earn it anymore, you know? So this is why you see people just laying on a couch or just getting sloppy and just, but you fail to recognize that by skipping the evolutionary act, you're skipping the evolutionary act, not to sound redundant. What that means is you're not getting the growth that happens in the process. You're so reward focused that you're skipping the work, which would actually make you the stronger individual, right? So it's like, I'm not gonna run, I'm not gonna work out, I'm just gonna get the feeling that's associated with as if I did this.
Yeah.
So I feel satisfied and accomplished, but it's fake accomplishment. And now you're actually weaker than ever before.
Yeah.
And when you just work out and know that when I'm running, I'm becoming stronger, I'm becoming more effective. Not only as a psychological, non-physical reward do you feel satisfied, but your body produces exactly what you're looking for on the outside. So you realize it was all free.
I tell you, for me, like that was the number one thing when I sobered up. And it was the number one thing I was told getting sober.
Yeah.
Exercise, diet, like, and I ignored it for a long time, dude. And now exercise is non-negotiable. Yeah. And it's not even really because of exterior. It's, and the days I don't want to go, that's when I'm like, get in the fucking gym.
Need it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, even we talked, last week, 2 weeks ago, and you're like, go run, like get oxygen.
Right. Get some oxygen.
And bro, 5 minutes after that, the shift started happening.
Right.
Like I was in a gym, same thing a couple weeks ago. 10 reps, first set, different mindset. Like went from feeling like heavy, beat down,
right,
and then back to like, yo, I'm a
key.
fucking man.
Right.
Like, let's do this shit.
Right.
It's crazy, but it really is. That's been the number one thing. The fitness. I hijacked my reward system for so long that I'd forgot,
right,
like the real satisfaction of a good workout.
Right.
Doing your fucking laundry, the little shit, bro, making your bed.
Right.
Like it really is like stacking those little wins. And you say this all the time, like just like keeping your word.
That's all it is.
What does it feel like to keep your word? And I know for me, like that's a good feeling.
That's
like
an
that
feeling.
It matters to me, unfortunately. There's a lot of people that don't fucking stand on their word for shit.
No, but the thing is, it's universally, that's what you want, you know? Nobody wakes up and decides, hey, I'm gonna fail myself today. Like I'm gonna not be who I said I wanted to be today.
Yeah.
So many people end up doing that. And, you know, flipping the approach, just now I heard, you know, and I hear people moving like this as I think about it. Keeping your word is fulfilling. It makes you feel good. It's actually avoiding the feeling associated with not keeping your word, right? So I kind of think in negatives, right? I think about like in don'ts.
Bro, that makes more sense. That to me is what I feel I do more. Is I don't want to feel how I feel when I don't do what I say I'm going to do.
Right, you know, so you just don't want to walk around feeling these negative emotions, and you know, and that's what people tend to do. They break their word. They have these negative self-perceptions. They have these negative undercurrents going on. They're not living as they should be living as the person and constructing the person. So then it becomes, how do I escape this self-experience, right? And this is how people end up going back to what we're talking about, the substances and whatnot.
Right.
You know, and you were mentioning earlier, people are now substituting former ways with the alternative ways or the more sacred ways, the sacred medicines and things like that. But it's also becoming an abuse issue there, right?
Yeah.
So we were talking about Ozempic or something like that. People are treating, and Ozempic is like a weight loss thing, bro. Eat correctly, eat sensibly, and train your body. Your body will change. Everybody who's trying to attach themselves and maintain their inferior conduct and live their life and try to get the result, it's like, listen, the result is a byproduct of superior conduct. If you change your conduct, eat sensibly, and train your body as you should, you will not have a weight issue. But you're trying to hold on to the other ways while trying to get the higher result. You're trying to cheat the universe, right?
Yeah.
So same thing. It's like with the medicines and plants and things and these inducements, it's like spiritual Ozempic, bro. People are trying to skip the effort of changing.
It's a fact.
You know, themselves. And it's the new thing. It's like, oh yeah, like I'm enlightened, or oh yeah, like I'm woke. And it's like, show us without that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're still the jiggly dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With Ozempic, or you're still the person who is not really attuned in their best way, although you're frequenting these new circles, you know?
Yeah, bro.
So how, you know, it's just understanding that these types of people exist. And for everybody out there who's watching this, you know, just take notes. The key to everything is changing your conduct. You can never escape the byproducts of your conduct. And I came up with this formula. The square root of your existence is your conduct. So square root conduct equals quality of existence, right? So your quality of existence can never be outmatched by your quality of conduct, right? So if a person is eating unsensibly, indulgent, undisciplined, and not exercising, then their quality of existence will match that. Like, you can't escape that. You know, Ozempic is not going to help you, bro. You know, if you're not actually doing the emotional regulation, emotionally maturing, dealing with external circumstances, because I used to smoke, you know, especially nicotine, it helped me with my anxiety in social situations. I'll be on the shift, go for a smoke break, I need to smoke. And that's a coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
So there's an external stimuli or external condition present. Now I'm psychologically going against it. I'm feeling uncomfortable. Let me use this tool to do the emotional work for me so I can get through this window of time, but I've never grown and developed emotionally ever, and it doesn't help me, right? So you get to that point where, you know, you have to do the inner work. And this inner work is emotional maturity, learning how to evolve versus cope. So much of this medicinal industry, this healing industry, providing coping mechanisms. And the first month that I was sober, I said, I'm no longer coping, I'm evolving. Same stressors in the environment, same triggers. I'm no longer using something outside of myself to get myself through the time window, but still haven't done the work. So in the future, when the condition presents itself again, I'll still need that because I haven't grown. If I allow myself to sit in these adverse situations and allow them and thank myself for the growth opportunity that it avails, I evolve so that the next time the same condition presents itself, I'm no longer afflicted the same way. And I am same thing again. Now I'm emotionally mature to the point where I use all of this adversity as the gold or the tools of internal fortification. And that's where the evolution is. And that's what you really want to do. You don't want to have stress meet you in life and then you're given this coping mechanism that just gets you through the time, but you haven't grown or you haven't actually healed. To heal actually means to no longer need remedy. So that's the goal for everybody out there. You want to get to this point where you're just master of self, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. These tools can help you understand that these states exist. You can't depend on these tools to induce a state. You have to meet yourself there. And that's like exposure. Once you're exposed to an idea, your mind can't go back to not knowing its lack of existence. Like, in other words, once you see something, you can't unsee it. Once you hear something, you can't unhear it. Once you experience something, you can't experience it. So smoking weed for me showed me an experience. I'm like, oh, okay, this exists. If somebody never smoked weed, they don't know it exists. If somebody's never done any psychedelic, they don't know that that exists.
Right.
So you're walking in a world where there's a state that exists that you don't know about. Once you're exposed to it, it's like, oh, this is great. But if I continue to go this way, the universe is going to steal my health from me because I'm cheating. You know, like you're cheating. You can't cheat the universe. You can't cut corners. You know, it's like the law of equivalent exchange, an eye for an eye. So if you try to cheat and get the high reward, the universe is going to take and chip away and chip away and chip away. And this is why we see that alcohol, substances never ended well for anybody in human history. So we can never really advocate for it, right? Like as a sustainable long-term situation. So, you know, in the end, you just have to recognize that it's going to be a change in your conduct, which is going to allow you to evolve. And when you evolve versus cope, and when we teach people to evolve versus cope, I think those are going to be better instruments to helping push the evolution of the entire world, people, nations, you know, consciousness, and take humanity to that next level, because there are more people on the planet than ever before, which means there's more in the education and the information. It's out here now thanks to people like ourselves. But at the same time, like, everybody's not hip. So there's more margin of error, but there's also more margin for potential of correctness and beauty and abundance. So once we really push this envelope, we could establish some real new things that we've never even understood.
Bro, that's the fucking goal, right?
Yeah, straight up.
I mean, at least we're putting in the work on our side to try to get the fucking message out there.
All day.
We're at war. That's how I feel.
All day.
Spiritually.
Straight up, you know? And, you know, that's the end of the day. Sober, get fit, get enlightened, and get you some money, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, financial health is a thing. People need to cure themselves there. Most people only focus on the money. We know so many people with bounties of money. But what are they lacking in? Sobriety, which is mental, emotional health, you know, because there's no need for an external tool unless there's an internal lack perceived, right? So it's like you wouldn't need to do that if you didn't perceive some deficit within self. So it's like, let's just acknowledge that and remedy that. So get sober, mental, emotional. Get fit, physiological, be in your top form, endurance, capacity, be able to put in work, you know, develop your willpower. Every time I'm doing a rep, I'm not thinking about the muscles. I'm curating an individual with willpower to go past that threshold. I'm waking up an individual who is willing to work. A lot of people use working out as like some ego thing or try to impose threat or like throw violence energy out there. Of course, you want to be able to protect, serve, right? That's one facet. But the best part about it is showing that you're an individual who's willing to work. When you have a body that is a symbol of and a reflection of physical alignment with physical biological principles and hard work, it's obvious. And when you don't, you don't. Don't try to tell people we're judging you. Like, the reason you don't cross the street when cars are moving in a 5-way is because you have a faculty of judgment. Don't let people turn that off, you know? So it's not judging individuals. It's really just looking at the facts and keeping y'all accountable to the situation. So get sober, get fit, get enlightened, and get some money and see how you really feel, you know? And this is what we need to produce in people, you know? And hey, you know?
YWY, your world is yours, bitch.
100%.
Bro, I love it. All that shit was so fire.
100%.
There were so many things you said, but I don't even know where to start. Like, we're just in such an ass backwards world of like, everyone's fucking so scared.
Why do people demonize winners?
Right.
You know, like, the thing is, it's like, we're inviting you to win the whole time.
Yeah.
Inviting you to be the best for you. Nobody can be the best you for you. Nobody can be better for you than you.
Yeah.
We're just inviting you to do that, you know? But it seems like people are fighting for their limitations. You ever notice that?
Yeah, bro.
You know, like, they're
more
fighting
now than ever. Like, because part of mine was my perception shift. Like you said, I went from, I don't even want to say fucking victim, because I was never a victim, but thinking like, oh, I had this weight to carry around and like coping instead of, bro, everything's a blessing.
Everything.
Like, straight up. And if everyone's real honest with themselves and you look at your track record,
Right.
even the shit you wanted to go your way that didn't,
Right.
it was for the best.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, I look at now like, and a little bit of like the Buddhism philosophy, I guess, like, like suffering, what is it? Like, life is suffering.
Life
like,
is suffering.
I mean, straight up, like, I'm not motivated unless I'm in pain typically, right? Like, I never made changes when I was on a winning streak.
Right.
So, I don't know. I just look at it like anything that's a challenge now is an opportunity. It's not a negative.
Whenever I'm in an adverse situation, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this bit that I can use. It's adversity almost is like the ore or the mineral that an alchemist really uses to build their soul, right? It's like, oh man, I can transmute this. I'm gonna take this adverse situation and I'm gonna transmute this into strength. Thank you. Like, people send you weird vibes and shit. It's like, I can either crack to this, get weak, lose myself, or I can say, wow, this is a time I can transmute this whole energy into fortification, right?
Yeah,
and
bro.
once you see life like that, it becomes a game. You turn adversity into adventure, right?
That's how I feel now, where, and I think we talked about this yesterday with just, you know, dudes and alpha egos and shit like that. And it's like, you're not a threat. Like, I'm competing with myself. And if you have a problem with me, I know it's got nothing to do with me. But if I do sense some negativity, like, thank you. Like, because at this point, I'm like, if I'm treating you good or bad, I'm winning.
All right.
So I'm going to just feed off that shit. And really trying to kind of turn it into like empathy in a way where it's like, I just look at people now, I'm like, you're just hurt, bro.
Super. You know,
Like,
yeah.
Like, you feel unsafe, you're hurt, you're threatened by me.
Something.
And it's got nothing to do with me.
No. It's displacement of dissatisfaction with self. That's what hate is.
And then what's fucked up is guys like you and I see that and it's like, I want to put you on game and help you.
Oh, yeah.
And 5-10% maybe like are willing to take a different perspective, I'd say. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's probably harder than ever too, bro, because I think we're so sick and polluted and distracted. And maybe everyone's standards because of social media and shit, everyone's comparing everything to everyone. It's like, bro, just get back to like loving yourself and who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And if you're not happy with you, I think we all just don't have any self-awareness. Your gut
Right.
knows, bro.
Right.
Like, I find it hard to believe that people living lives don't have some, I have to think they've got something in them that's like talking to them, you know, that little, the voice of truth.
We all have it. Higher reason.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's almost shocking how few people, and I think it's because there's so many outside factors now, so much information getting shoved in, that unless you're making that time to reflect, meditate, whatever it is, sit in silence, you don't even have a shot.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's...
Let me ask you this. When it comes to, you know, enlightenment, awakening, breaking through the matrix, whatever you want to call it, because we want to help people.
For sure.
How much do you think is in our power versus divine timing?
There's a Greek philosophical concept, kairos, and chronos, two time scales. I'm gonna get it right now.
K-I-R-O-S, K-R-O-N-O-S.
K-A-I-R-O-S.
Got it.
And chronos.
I've heard the words before.
So one is versus chronos. And I realized before I even read this the other day, we are the universe. We are the living universe.
Yeah.
Individually, collectively experiencing itself from various individual perspectives. Many people aren't ready to absolve themselves of their most superficial identity, which is I'm in, or Sheik, or Chris, or, you know, whomever. They're not ready to let go of that and just realize that they are, right? Like before anything, they are the universe, right?
Yeah.
So that's who you are based on what you have, where you've been, you know, different. Once you let go of that, you know you're the universe. So then I get to this point where what's the thin line between free will and destiny and things? And it's the moment that you realize that you are the universe, co-creating the universe. Every action, every deed, you are implicit and implicated in the co-creation of the unfolding of eternity. So you have the choice to grant permission to certain outcomes and ebbs and flows and effects. So we have the ability to, at that moment, co-create the future. We can also hold it back, which doesn't extricate it. We're inextricably linked to the universe. So even if we can commit an act or omit an act, right? But the act of omission is a silent commission.
Yeah.
So when you hold back,
like the act of inaction is still an action.
It's still an action, right?
Yeah.
So you're still shaping the universe by holding back certain things or giving certain things. So when
that's fucking powerful.
It's high level. When you get to this recognition, you realize, all right, I'm being given the choice. And you usually see what can happen if you do or don't do. And you've chosen a reality. And the most immediate person that has to experience that reality is yourself. So then we have to live with our decisions. And the final judgment is like, are you really okay with it? Because you had the choice. You always had that choice. So at the end, when it's all about to be said and done, and the reports are in,
you know, what I think of when you just said that, because we talked about this at lunch, was, and this is for anyone out there, if you're like thinking of starting a business or creating content, like you have an idea of something you want to do, fucking you sitting not doing it is you co-creating your universe. And my point being, fucking bet on yourself. Take the fucking shot. Like, just do it.
For sure.
Like, you holding back might be an impact that could affect literally millions of people.
You don't,
Yeah, bro. Like, we're all so fucking scared of what?
You know, I've come to the recognition in the dawning. I was teaching the people on my program the other day. Mental pictures, bro. This is the key to life.
Yeah.
So,
like, picturing your head.
Substitute the idea of a thought. Oh, why are you thinking that? I now ask people, why are you picturing that? And it happened when I was having a conversation with my dad. I'm gonna go travel and do this. He's speaking and I'm hearing his reality. In his mental picture, there's no income because he's from the olden days. He doesn't know how we operate nowadays with the internet and stuff like that. I'm listening to his mental picture. I'm like, oh no, you're colored, your mental picture, there is no income. So I had to let him know. I said, I will be generating income while I'm there.
Yeah.
How? So he's speaking from scarcity. I'm speaking from abundance and knowing that things are there.
Yeah.
Two different mental pictures.
Mm-hmm.
People are casting mental. So I'm like, why are you picturing that? Then you get to the point with the mental picture. It's like with the individual who wants to start the business, start whatever venture it is, manifest that next level. Everything that we do, we saw before we did it. Everything that you do, whether that's opening a door, grabbing this, you saw before you did it. So there are mental pictures that we're operating from. So when you see the best mental picture for yourself, why is it that people are so quick to then create all of these multiple other mental pictures where it's not the best mental picture, and then there's fear mental picture, worst outcome mental picture. You know, that's the thing. It's like people are switching
That's the default.
It's a reflex, right?
It is. It's at this point, I don't know if that's normal in humans because of survival or something.
For sure.
But bro, I've had the same experience literally with my family.
Yeah.
When I started my businesses, it was always worst case scenario. There was not one person, even, I mean, dude, even, I want to say everyone, honestly. I don't really think anyone was like, no one was seeing what I was seeing.
Right.
They were seeing nothing good.
How it won't work.
Every single one was it not working.
Right.
Not once did someone say, I hope it works, or that's going to be great. And I didn't really even think about this till right now. And it's been a different experience as I've moved up in my career and got into different ventures.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like once people do see some proof.
Right. Mental pictures is easier for them to, so they believe it's about belief now. And we were talking about possibility.
I was just bringing that up.
It's fully possible.
Yeah.
Now, you'll say something, they can't, their minds are seeing mental pictures where it's going to not work. They don't know how they're going to put it together. That doesn't mean it can't be put together.
Yeah.
So, you know, understanding the co-creation process that brought this up, it's like you have to stop, because you're creating the reality by bringing the mental picture where it didn't work out by not doing the work and by giving into fear and things like that. But when you just see the mental picture and you're like, all right, what do I need to do to put this together? You just put it together.
Do you think part of it's too, I feel like right now, I thought about this earlier too, you said something about, I feel like people are afraid to commit. Like they're afraid to go all in. And even on making fucking dinner plans.
For sure.
And I'm not gonna lie, fucking be real with myself. I caught myself last night when you texted me you want to grab dinner and I wrote back like possibly, and I'm like,
what does that even mean?
What the fuck does that even mean?
Speak definitively.
Right. And I was like, even after that, I'm like, what do you mean fucking possibly? Like, yes, you're like, and that's part of what we've all want to like half commit and want an out, you know, like when did it become so hard to just be all in on you and self-belief?
Right.
And I, like you said, we talked about last night, possibilities. And I remember thinking like what we're talking about was like becoming a billionaire, right?
Oh yeah.
2 years ago, I mean, like that's cute idea, bullshit. Like, I'm not fucking Elon. I'm not a tech guy. And in my mind, I'm like, that's the only way to become a billionaire. Bullshit. And you're never going to be one if you don't ever actually think it or believe it. And I can't even say my body spirit fully believes I'll be a billionaire yet. But it's like mental gymnastics, bro. I realized this game never stops. Like you said, it's for fucking eternity. Every day is mental. It's a decision. Because I catch myself getting that negative thought comes in, start playing that negative movie, worst case scenario, and it's like, fuck that. Pause.
Why are you picturing that?
We're gonna take this movie out and put it in fucking the winning game.
Straight up. Why are you picturing that? I tell people that all the time, and you can hear it in their language.
Yeah.
where, you know, they worry about like letting go of some money or something. And it's like, wow, in your mental picture, in your forecast of the future, there's an absence of money for some reason. You know, so you're afraid to let go of this. And it's like, you don't even, people don't realize in the immediacy of the act of them holding back that they're actually forecasting and casting a future of lack.
Straight up.
You know, and
I think about that when people don't tip.
yeah, you know, it's like, what did you just mentally picture? You wanted to give, then you mentally pictured.
You know you should give.
Yeah.
And you immediately go to fear and scarcity. Like,
Right,
but what if one day
like,
I need this $5 bill?
Yeah. You know, so the thing is like, start asking yourselves, we should ask ourselves, everybody ask themselves, when you see that best possible scenario, which is very plausible, very possible, you know, picture that. And then if you find yourself thinking anything else, instead of asking, why are you thinking that? Even with your friends, why are you thinking that? Why are you picturing that? You know, like don't have people around you who have weird mental pictures of the future that are limited and dwarfed and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's weird as shit.
You know, so the billionaire is there, you know, and most people, like you said, they need to see it to believe it.
You need a taste.
Yeah, but at the same time, you've seen a farmer reap a crop many times. And the farmer doesn't see the crop until way after the cultivation.
And he doesn't know what the weather's going to be.
No, but he saw it before it happened. And most people are waiting to get the result. You need to be before you see.
Yeah.
The more you be what it's supposed to be, more you are what you're supposed to be, then you'll see it. Most people are like, I'm not going to be it until I see it. But then how are you going to see it if you never...
Do you know there's a big YouTube dude, I think his name's Iman Godzi. He's in Dubai. He's doing really good shit. But he had said something like, he used to go sit in like high-end hotel lobbies and cafes. And he was telling him, like, go do that. Be around the wealth.
Right.
Smell it, feel it. Imagine yourself there.
Hell yeah.
I'm a huge proponent of that. I mean, I don't know if I was telling you this, but I was in Portugal last year for my cousin's wedding. Had 2 days extra after all the festivities. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go like treat myself. Right. Checked in a 5-star hotel, the coast of Portugal. And I'm like hitting the spa. But it was one of those where like I felt the abundance, bro. Right. And then I'm sitting in the sauna, end up talking to this like 70-year-old Brazilian developer. Right. Old dude. He's on game, just cool. And I'm like, this is the shit. And the people and the environment that I want to be cultivating. Of course. Like this might not be every day, but this is what I want to be the norm. Of course. And I think about that even in the gym. All right, the gym, the sauna. These are all things, don't get me wrong, there's unhealthy, successful people, but like what is success, right? Like if I'm rich as fuck but can't walk, am I successful? So, but it's the simplest things, even like sitting in any sauna. I just know I'm taking care of my body. I'm getting shit out of me. Like it's making me feel just better about myself, healthier. For sure. My health is abundant. Right. I mean, I'm of the true belief now, and I like even the order, like sober, fit, enlightened, and rich. Have to be. I would almost say even in that order. And almost exactly if you're sober and fit, you're winning. You don't even need to be enlightened. You can be sober and fit and get rich. I don't want to be your boy. You're already winning. Yeah. Yeah. You'll come around eventually. You'll realize all that shit doesn't make you happy. That's right. The girls, the cars, the drugs. Yeah. It's got a half-life on it for sure too. But yeah, bro, it's just a huge perception shift where, and I still catch myself a little bit like imposter syndrome. Like in my mind, what I thought would be success, like I've hit it. And then hit it and been like, well, I don't feel that different. You know, I don't feel like the fucking man yet. What the fuck? Right. Or whatever. Right. Or I don't feel as happy as I think I should feel right now. And that's where I've realized, dude, it's all internal and it's that mental game. And part of it's, you got to just like change your own perception of yourself, but also keep, like, if you don't feel it, it's because you're not living, like you don't feel worthy. Right. Right. Like, I know I was talking about with the VAYCAY podcast, it's health and wellness. Right. When we started it, I was still fucking smoking nicotine vapes. Right. You know, between recordings. And it's like, of course, there's probably, it's like, you fucking fake, bro. Like, Tim, you're here talking hell shit. go to the gym, but meanwhile you're ripping a fucking sour Fiji apple Elf bar,
That's crazy.
in the locker room. Like,
sure.
It's like, bro.
Hypocrite.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you have to expose yourself to the experiences so that, because whenever we're in the new environment, I remember when I started to step into more affluent environments, high-end gyms, steam rooms, jacuzzis, amenities. At first, there is that older self. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I'm not saying I lived in poverty crazy, but I've been visiting people. I grew up in certain projects. I got family in certain projects. Wake up. I'll be honest. You know what I'm saying? You got roaches in your cereal box overnight. It's real shit. Or just being in Sudan, for example. I mentioned that. Seeing third world poverty. I got friends that don't even have toilets. There's like a whole crazy shit that you just got to live with. You accept it, but then you learn to appreciate the nice things, right?
Yeah.
But when you get there, you're like, whoa, like this is like the rich people thing. So there's like this disassociation or this dissonance between who you think you are, and then there's that. But you said imposter syndrome. How can we have imposter syndrome if we're just being real, right? There's that fake it till you make it mentality that's out here. So most people are fronting. You know what I mean? They're fronting. If you're just in the environment and you're new to it and you're very open to it, it's a different effect than if you go in there and you're like, I'm pretending here. You know what I mean? Like, and then I just say reel it till they feel it, like never be fake for nothing.
And bro, it's almost like that comes down to just like, if you're confident in who you are, you're going to be straight wherever, and people can sense that.
Right, exactly.
And that's the difference between someone being like this weirdo or like,
right.
Oh, maybe this dude doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Let me go like help him out or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It's all about how you carry yourself.
No, for sure. And that's the key. Elevating ourselves and knowing what's possible and bringing that forward. There's no limit. You mentioned stepping into certain levels of success. I remember when I first got access to the condo in New York, and I'm up there and now I'm like making a couple $1,000s a day. I was just in the park. I was just working minimum wage, God's sakes. You know what I'm saying? Like in a cafe working, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm in this condo. I'm making a couple $1,000 a day. I got a beautiful girlfriend, foreign. This is what y'all think made is, right? I got the muscles, I got the little prestige. Why do I feel so empty?
Yeah.
I'm up here and it's all about what I can get, what I got. And I'm like, none of this is doing anything for me. Yeah. But I do remember the feeling when I published my first book. And
I want to get into the books after this.
Yeah, but that feeling of actually making something that never existed ever in the continuity of eternity, physically.
Yeah.
Come into reality through your mind. The power of manifesting a book. I was like staring at it. It's almost like I have a lucid dream moment where and that was more satisfying. And that's when I realized it was all about being something. There was nothing to get. There was nothing to lose. There was only something to be. And if I'm not being that, I'm feeling extremely dissatisfied with life. So never even thinking about the amenities. They're beautiful. They're facilities to help you facilitate yourself and maintain yourself at a higher level.
That's fucking it right there.
It's like the facilities don't do anything. The facilitator facilitates the facility. So if you have an office in your building, a gym in your building, it's because you're the type of person that can use those facilities to maintain that being, right? So it just got down to that and realizing a successful human, you can have a bunch of shit. You can have a bunch of money. You can have the finest chicks, the finest, whatever you want to consume and subjectively experience that nobody else can experience except for you because it's all subjective sensory experience, selfish. It becomes about being and giving, right? And knowing that you're offering valuable service to other people, being instrumental in other people's lives. And, not for the sake of, I know I'm valuable now, but it's already happening. It's like, the value of being valuable. And that's where it all starts, And so once you transcend that, it's about being a successful human. I mentioned that at dinner. Like as a person with $1 billion, no sobriety, no fitness, no like proper knowledge of self, successful, we can't really say that. So it's not about how much money you can get. You can be a really trash person with a lot of money. You're not a successful human. I'd rather be a successful human. That's why sober, fit, enlightened in that order matters, is because no one can be sober for us. Nobody can be enlightened for us. Nobody can be fit for us. We must earn our fitness daily. We must maintain our sobriety daily. And we must learn and study for ourselves. No one can think for us. So when it comes to learning, you may be able to hear some knowledge, but are you truly thinking, integrating it, and making it part of your being? No one can do these things for us. So that's 100% our personal conduct. The money, we can do business, we can be sleazy, we could do this. So the money, I don't really get impressed by the money, but I'll never tell you to be broke ever in your life. You know what I mean? And that's just really what it is.
I'm not impressed by the money, but I'll never tell you to be broke.
Nah,
that's a fact.
Never tell you to be broke. You know what I mean? But money doesn't really confer, like it doesn't earn my respect unless I see that you're like a quality, successful human being. Like that's it. If you have everything in the world, but you're trash, you got the gut, I can't respect you. I know where that came from. You got the blunt in your mouth, you drinking, you smoking. I know what's going on inside of you. You know what I mean? You don't really know anything. You living off of either superstition or you just walking on this earth. I don't even know what, you know? Not really inspired to be that, you know?
No, no. And there's a lot of that going around, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So tap in, just give the people a little bit on the books. Man. You got what, 4 of them?
Yeah, I'd say 4.5, 5 technical volumes, 5 publications, but one of them is a book of affirmations. So each page has an affirmation on it. It's not like a full, it's a couple paragraphs, you know? But 5 books nonetheless, all in 1 year. So November 2022, I'll publish the first book. It's called The Advancing Individual, 12 Attitudinal Dispositions That Guarantee Personal Advancement. And that was the first book. Second book, How to Not Be Poor, Mental Cures for Poverty, Lack, and Scarcity. Because poverty starts in the mind. It starts with the poor thought. There's a chapter in there called The Poorest Thought. And the poorest thought is, I can't. I heard someone say I can't to me. And immediately the voice in my mind said, that's the poorest thought in the world. What can we do with you once you say I can't? What do you mean you can't? You definitely can, and you ought to, you know? So we have How to Not Be Poor, Mentally Prosperous, Physically Poor. We talk about it. Next, we have Believe and Manifest. And my prize jewel at this moment is The Best Kept Secret. Long title, Best Kept Secret. Go check it out. That will provide you the highest level of existential clarity and universal identity possible. It's the most scientific, the most beginner individual can read that book and understand themselves at the highest level. And I'm really proud to have produced that book. I've always wanted to write books. Before, I was too weak in my discipline, too uncalibrated. I developed this non-negotiable mindset due to one of my teachers. And from there, it just channeled all of this genius through that avenue. That's why we need structure. Water is energy. Energy is like water. Without a proper channel to drive itself into, it'll just dissipate and be spread thin. So when you understand discipline as a channel, as a pipe to capture the rain, the droplets, the downloads, to channel into a specific area and produce a specific effect, you understand the value of discipline, because energy is always flowing through us, to us, from us. And we just need to apply it to specific direct ends that we intentionally set out to begin with. And we can produce anything. The books always existed. I just needed to discipline myself to channel the time and the energy into the production of it. Done, 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 done. And yeah, the books, everything to me.
Are those on Amazon?
They're all on Amazon. They're all on Amazon. You can check them out on Amazon. If you order them through the website and I happen to be available, you'll get a signed copy. I say get a signed copy. I know that they're going to be worth more than Bitcoin, or eventually at the level of Bitcoin, rare collector's items in the future. Trust, we know where we're going. We know what we're going to be. So at the end of the day, if you get a signed copy in today's day and age, in the future, it will be worth a lot of money. If you're a collector out there, if you're a person who's a wise investor, I'm telling you, go cop up, get a signed copy.
Bet on that.
Yeah, for sure, bro. We taking it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here right now.
Yeah, bro.
The world needs this shit.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
hungry for it.
All answers.
To that I can't, powerful.
Poorest thought in the world.
Yeah. Straight up. Like, bro. I'm literally writing this down.
Write
your damn notes. I am, people.
Get your notes out. You know what I'm saying? Like bombs everywhere. But yeah, you know, I was walking, and that's the thing. I wrote a book. People are like, you should slow down. No, I don't want to be like you. I want to write books, and I don't have stopping me. And I don't see it not being possible. Oh, but you just marketing and you have to. I don't care about sales, bro.
Yeah.
I care about getting this out and making sure it's outside of me. Because a lot of people are going, we all got to leave here. My goal has always been to make sure that I left it all here for everyone. I went through a depressive phase. I used to be on substances. I even contemplated suicide at a certain point. Even as a spiritual individual, I'm like, man, what's the point of this vain existence of material consumption? And why are we here, bro? For what? Like, just to feel things and have sex and eat food and poop? Like, come on, bro. Like, what's this creature shit, bro?
Yeah.
You know, there gotta be more. So I was like, man, I'm so beyond this shit. Like, I'm ready for what's next, you know? But and I was also pressed by society. I would let people make me depressed, and haters, and you know, the haters want to see you clip yourself. You know what I'm saying? They feel satisfied seeing you rub yourself out. You feel me? So I'm in my head like, yo, you've been given and blessed life, the opportunity of opportunities, by a power inconceivable to anything and higher than anything you ever know. No man, woman, being, creature created none of this. Like, where did all this come from? How is this happening? Gotta start asking these questions, right? So then when you start tracing those lines, you're like, wow, I was really like meant to be here by design and by will of something way incomprehensible and way more powerful than any of these individuals I'm allowing to have me fucked up and depressed. You know what I mean? Have me fucked up, have me misconstrued, you know, have me just at a lower level. I said, fuck that. Why would I gotta go anyway. You know what I mean? We all gotta go anyway. So why would I rub myself out when I gotta face the inevitable? And then also, if I'm being selfish and being like, I wanna see what's the next phase, I gotta go anyway. I know that I have this here and now. I haven't even experienced it to the fullest capacity that I know that I was supposed to experience it. I haven't given what I was supposed to give. I'm sitting there under the cover smoking a jewel with COVID. This is how it all kicked off. I'm under the covers with COVID. It's like March 20th, 2020. I'm like, you know all of this stuff, but your dumbass is smoking on a jewel that somebody created to exploit your weakness, and you're so woke, bro. Look at you, bro. Like, you're just can't even breathe.
That was the day you stopped?
Bro, I was like, yeah. I asked myself, I said, are you this much of an emotional bitch to like, that you can't shake this? Like, what's wrong with you, bro? I was like, nah, I'm not a bitch, bro. And I just dropped it. It's all emotional, like, bitch-assery, bro.
Yeah,
like, you're just sitting in there in your feelings and shit.
In your feelings.
Yeah.
I do. That's wild because I'm 99% sure that's the day I stopped drinking.
Straight up.
My birthday's the 23rd.
Okay.
And it was like March 20th. I was like, fuck this.
Clip it.
Like, straight up, it's bitch shit, bro.
Yeah, it's just bitch-assery, bro.
It's just like, I might not feel good, bitch.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, man, me.
Yeah.
You know, so I just let it go, and I knew that either I had one eye out. I had one eye out into the other side, and I was still here. And I said, do I really want to leave? You have all these answers. All these answers got to go. I have to leave this. So that's what sparked the selflessness. I don't care about what I get, bro. This message will be delivered. Like, these books will be made. Like, that's what it's all about. And now I'm at that point where I'm so out of my own way where I have all these answers. I just need to make sure people have them because I know how valuable they are. And it goes back to what we mentioned earlier. You have to become the embodiment, the personification, the living teaching, you know? That's the best way to teach people. And I was willing to just sacrifice all personal gratification, you know, just to become the teaching and demonstrate, you know, and make sure people are captivated enough to pay attention. Because now I look at all these spiritual people and I'm like, dude, you're out of shape. You still smoking, you still doing this. Like, I'm not listening to you. You just want to be seen. You just want to, you know, you have self-aggrandizement in you.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like 6'6". Like, I like to not be seen. People think that I like to be like, I wish could turn on the invisibility cloak.
I know what you mean, bro.
You know, like, I
like to put my glasses in my fucking.
I'm not here, you know, and that's the thing. It's like, even if there was no face to this message would go, you know, and that's the sincerity of everything. And that's how, you know, everything really started. It was just making sure that I left it.
I want to dumb it down for anyone that's like in that they're in their March 20th today, right? They're under the cover, it's hitting the jewel, like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they're at that point.
Yeah.
What was your, I guess, your action plan, like, next day going forward? Like, how did you implement all that shit? Like, what changed? Like, what was the simplest, like, to make it easy for people, like, what was the simplest shit? You're like, all right, this needs to change. Like, gym, fucking just a mentality shift, like.
It was never be a hypocrite. I'm never going back, and adopting the this too shall pass mentality, understanding that the heterostasis that is the withdrawal phase is just my body getting back to its natural state. And I looked at it like I was in a turbulent emotional state. So we're on the plane, we're experiencing turbulence. So you're like, the plane is shaking and shit, right?
Yeah.
The word disturbance, turbulent, right? So it's away from, or like disturbant. I found that I was disturbed, and I was like, all right, so I'll just establish turbulence very soon. So every wave of like emotional disturbance, I was just like, all right, the plane is shaking, strap your seatbelt on, bro, and allow yourself to fully go through this phase. And, you know, with nicotine, I looked up the half-life of things. I look how long it stays in your system physiologically. 72 hours is nothing, bro. You know, like I gotta live 72 hours anyway, so I might as well break it now.
Yeah.
And I was just, never again works way better than one more time. This is the last time.
Bro.
This is the last time. Just never again. That's it. And from there, never again. I realized I had all this energy. I'd be up at like 3 a.m. Of course, I would want to do what I want to do. I just started cleaning. I'm like, do anything.
Literally. Yeah.
Anything. And then you realize there's so much of our lives undone.
Bro.
That we just left undone because we're over here in our feelings, and then we feel satisfied.
Yeah.
It's like, let me just start getting things done. Then it's like, oh, that's what goes back to what you're saying. Like, you start feeling the satisfaction of achievement, right? And I'm just like, all right, got my room clean. Oh, I'm still up. It's 4 a.m. I don't care. It's pandemic. I don't got nowhere to be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go run.
Yeah.
So I just started running. That's why I say go get oxygen, because instead of inhaling this aerosol solvent and then infusing that with my blood and letting that go to my blood-brain barrier and then go through my synapses and shit, I'm like, the brain thrives on oxygen. So let me go smoke these oxygen blunts. Let me get bong rips of oxygen, go out there and just bring that all in. And then you get to this heightened state of consciousness. You're like, oh, okay, this is not runner's high. This is me like juiced up on oxygen at a higher cognitive capacity. You feel me? So then I'm like, why would I ever like do this fake simulation of enlightened feeling when I can just go out there and actually become faster, shorten my miles, become a like more elite like physical creature? You know, like I'm doing these pull-ups. I'm thinking I'm on the edge of a cliff. I'm carrying these dumbbells to the park. I'm thinking I'm carrying like jugs of water back from the pond to the village. I'm in my mind like constructing a survivor, you know, just a evolution of an individual. And then from there, I just enjoyed evolving as a specimen, you know, physically. And I was like, why would I ever like limit myself within the ecological complex, especially if people are operating on competition? You just got to be aware of it, you know, just to keep yourself more prepared and less susceptible, you know?
I think we have a lot of people that are completely lacking any survival instinct now,
right?
Because like, I think about that. I mean, not that I think like, you know, I'm gonna be in a fucking, you know, street battle anytime soon, but
no, for sure.
It's like, at least be capable.
Yeah, right.
I was watching capacity. Some dude on Instagram talking about he trains specifically with bags that are the weight of his kids. So he, God forbid, he ever had to like run and carry all of his family out.
Right.
He's like, this is what I lift for. Like, this is what I'm preparing for, worst case scenario. And I was like, damn. Like, that's a different type of training. That's not like, oh, I want to fill out a little bit more and like look at it. It's like, no, that's actual like real shit.
For sure.
So you did the books, right? You did all those in 1 year.
I did all those in 1 year.
2021?
2022 to 2023.
So when did the last one drop?
Last one dropped October like 23rd or something like that this year.
And you said you started doing Instagram when?
2020. Like, seriously.
And what pushed you to do that? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that are on like teetering, oh, I should do this, I shouldn't do this. Like, what was your evolution into the social media realm? And
so it all started with me wanting to heal myself, right? Like, all right, never again. Now I have all this energy. I've let myself be less for so long, and I've like denigrated and degenerated myself for so long. I'm just gonna go to the park, do some push-ups, some pull-ups, and some dips, and treat myself well. I get there, there are other guys out there who do workouts in the park. You know, I got the OGs over here, you got a chick over here. It's like spring, it's like May, April, around then. And we're having this conversation, and they put a camera on me. I didn't know, but I was talking about most people are afraid to die more than anything. They're not living, and they're more afraid. It's something like that. I have a video, but the topic was living versus. They're just more afraid to what happens after. So they don't really want to be here.
They're stunted in this life because they're so worried about.
More or less, they're here without a purpose. And I realize people are just more afraid to die than anything. And they'd rather not fully live because of that. You know, so they get stuck in this limbo of like, well, I'm afraid to lose, so I won't live. You know, and I won't live because I'm afraid to lose. Anyway, the woman put the camera on me. I put the video up. I had my shirt off or whatever. I was stupid, more skinny than this. I need to get more jacked. But I was like thinner than this. But people were like, Iman, oh my God, like you're working out in the park and you're spitting some wisdom. And I was like, click, this is how I can get through to people. Like, I can actually because I'll do the work. I'll lift the lift. I'll work out every day. I'm going to do the work. Like, it's not a question.
Yeah.
So now I can speak. It's not like someone had to teach me that I need to do this for people to listen to me. It clicked that I was already in the being of, you know what I mean? Now I think you have a way. And I just ran with it, you know? So it became the embodiment. And from there it was lit.
I mean, good on you for fucking recognizing like that spark.
Yeah.
Because you could have been like,
nah. When you know,
bro.
Like, nah, this has to happen.
And it's like all knowing your whole body and your soul's like,
without a doubt.
Just keep moving on this road.
Without a doubt. And I didn't even allow myself to think otherwise. It's just like, no, this has to work. Either that or I'm buns. Buns just meaning like soft. You know, you're just cheeks, bro. You know, like I kept telling myself stuff like that. I talk to myself like that. Like, I have to. Like, bro, if you don't do this, you're buns, bro.
You got that internal Brooklyn dialogue.
Yeah, it's just like, you cheeks, bro. You can't do that, bro. You have to do this, bro. What do you mean, like, go back to minimum wage? What are you scared of, bro?
Like, what else? Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Yeah, like, you're going to be 40 years old, bro. What are you going to do, bro? You're going to be 50, bro. What are you going to have, like, look back and be mad at yourself?
So when you started that, were you doing the one-on-one, the coaching and stuff then, or is that kind of evolved?
Not at all.
How's that process now?
So it all started with, I started just working out.
Some game on the business side of this shit, you
know? Yeah, I was just working out, you know, and I started just working out in the park. I wanted to become one of the fittest people, period. I was like lining up with these calisthenics dudes, working out with dudes from jail in Lincoln Terrace Park and Wingate Park and Brooklyn Legendary Parks. You know, I remember the first day I even went to Wingate, I'm at like Prospect Park working out by myself, and a voice in my mind said, go to Wingate. Wingate's super famous, super legendary.
Like Muscle Beach.
Yeah, exactly. But you go on YouTube, you'll see it. I've never been. Voice in my head said, go. I listened. I went there, I walked in. It was a zoo. Everybody from across the planet was in there. Packed out, people doing muscle-ups, flipping everywhere, packed out. It was like serendipitous. Like, I'm here. So I was just wanting to work out. The business started, really, I got into personal training. So I used that as like, you know, just to get the knowledge, to get the certification. There are plenty of people in this life who know how to drive well, better than people who have licenses who don't have licenses.
Sure.
There are people without licenses who know how to drive better than people with licenses. Still, just in case the cops pull me over, let me get the certification so that it shows that I have a certain degree of competence in a given area. So I went and got the personal training certificate, started taking clients here and there, still using my social media. And then, like I said, when the student was ready, the teacher appeared and everything was clear to me. You know, no hesitation. Once you see what's supposed to happen, you learn what's supposed to be done, and you learn what's supposed to be done. You know, it didn't happen overnight. My success with applying the structure, I had to do a lot of internal construction. I was always aware of that. I wasn't always comfortable reaching out, making certain content, really being my full self. But once you know that, you know, you just consistently act on courage and move forward, I just knew that I would never give up. And I was always asking myself questions and adjusting to my internal inadequacies. And I was ready to embrace that as a developing young businessman, you know? And I was never taught how to do business. Most likely I was just taught how to be a wage earner and a worker, you know? So it always felt weird. People where I come from are more likely to have jobs than to be entrepreneurs. So, and on top of that, their value systems aren't aligned with sober, fit, enlightened, and rich. So now I'm in a population where like, do I have a market where I'm from? You know what I mean? I need to like think, and it just, I never gave up. I developed myself to the point where, you know, you just get good at doing business and you realize it's all about helping people. Yeah. You know, so for everybody out there who wants to open their business, start their venture, recognize the fundamental principle is service. Being a valuable service. How I define that is being instrumental in the increase of convenience for another individual's life, helping people experience life at a new level, making people's lives better, whatever you want to call it, through your product. I got a book, you read that, you walk away, your mind is on a new level. It's just what it is. Like $20 for a book, you walk away with wisdom for eternity, at least for as far as you know. You know, you can't lose that. Or you deal with a conversation, one-on-one mental healing, puts you on a perspective. You know, it's levels to this. It's whatever your gift is supposed to be given. You're given a gift by the universe and you're not supposed to keep it. And the more you keep it, the more the blessings are blocked outside. So it's just really like you have this gift, whatever it is, you have the mental picture of you giving it to everybody and everybody loving it, you know, but then you think about this mental picture where like, what if they don't love it? And now they can't love it. They can't love it because you kept it back. I don't care. I just know that it has to be out there. What's your target audience? I don't know. All souls. I'm not thinking like that. Bro. I'm not thinking like that. Like,
that's how I think too.
Yeah. You
people
know,
like, what's your niche? I'm like,
I don't know.
Anyone who wants to hear a message.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
it'll find them.
Not being specific like that. You know, it's like, it'll resonate with who it's for. And, you know, so, you know, the business, it was all about growing. And I always knew I wanted to make a certain amount of money, unlimited, not even a specific amount of money. I just wanted to have money. I don't like not having money. I don't like being in the rat race and having to turn myself off and like, nah, you can do this, bro. You can fully do this on your own. They could do it. If anybody could do it, you could do it, you know?
Hell yeah.
And then that's why, you know.
Pamela, how many other cameras? Are they dead?
Dead. And the
Cards full?
card full. So this is still alive.
All right, that's fine. All right, should we wrap it?
There is
How long we went for?
1.5 and 6 weeks. So
Gangster.
Fuck. I ordered more memory cards, but they obviously didn't come.
they are arriving?
They were supposed to be here already, but it's all right. I think we're good. You feel good?
Yeah, we're good. You want to wrap up?
You got anything else you want to hit on?
I have the audio here, anyways.
I mean, it's fine because we can still use this shit and they can cut it or whatever.
No, I mean, we could always talk about more things at another time.
We're definitely going to do fucking... Yeah, bro.
This is legendary, bro.
Yeah. If any, honestly, fucking might need to come up to New York, do like another...
Yeah.
We'll do like a different... We're in the fucking park or some shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't give a fuck, but we definitely got to do... We definitely got to do more. All right, so I'll just do... Or is there anything else you want to hit on, like before we wrap it?
No, just where to find me, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I gotta take fucking Storm out. Shit.
I'm down for the walk, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm ready to get a little blood. All right. Well, I'm gonna do the outro. Cool.
It's rolling?
Yeah. All right, bro. What do we just leave off on?
You gotta give your gift. Stop holding your gift.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yes, you got to share that gift. I know I think about that too with my social media shit. I was a little hesitant with some stuff. And a few of my buddies are like, bro, like what you're holding back might be what is helping somebody else. Like they're like, you're so consumed with like yourself. You're not thinking about, and that's what I think where we're going, bro. It's like people just need to know that other people feel the same shit they feel, deal with the same shit.
Right.
Like we're all fighting our own battles. And I think it's powerful shit like what you're saying that can give people the knowledge, self-awareness, wisdom to hopefully evolve and adapt, because we have to at this point. Like I don't even think there's a choice.
No, it's either that or perish as a dishonor, you know.
Straight up.
They say death before dishonor, but most people are living dishonor before death. You know?
Fact. Bro.
So it's just like, I ain't going out like that. You feel me?
All right. Y'all heard it here first. Sheikhy Chic. Stay true.
Stay true all day.
Absolutely. I'm pumped for you guys. Follow us along this journey. He'll share the info, where people keep up with you, get the book, social media.
So you can find my Instagram. We posting all day, every day, unlimited content, inspiration at Sheikhy Chic, SHEIKHYCHIC. Go to my YouTube, youtube.com/yourworldisyours. Infinite wisdom from the park, in the snow, in the blizzard, way before everything manifested, to this day, and keeping it going forever. You can get the books also on Amazon, available on Amazon, or on the website, yourworldisyours.com. Apply for coaching, jump on the program, get in the meetings. That's where the power is at. You get direct access to my mind. You get to really cure yourself, get these answers direct one-on-one. And, you know, get yourself in the best shape possible, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Sober, fit, enlightened, and rich. That's the goal. We're not taking nothing less. That's just what it is.
That's what it is, bro.
Feel me?
Tap in.
Yeah.
Stay true conversations. We'll see you guys next time.
Appreciate you, man.